Welcome to the Explainer. All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're building the complete blueprint for a modern sales engine that's not just safe for your reputation, but is actually designed to win, not just today, but well into 2026. Okay, let's kick things off with a feeling I bet you know all too well. You're crafting these messages, you're sending out connection requests, you're putting in all this work, but it just feels like you're shouting into a digital void, right? The strategy should be working, but for some reason, the pipeline just isn't filling up. And here's why that's happening. Today's buyers are smart. They are incredibly well researched. They've seen every single template, every quick question message you can think of. Honestly, they're just numb to that low-effort generic outreach that completely floods platforms like LinkedIn. The game has changed, period. So what we're really talking about here is this massive shift. The old playbook, it was all a numbers game, right? More volume, more manual grinding, and more generic messages that just interrupted somebody's day. The new system is all about precision, using safe automation and delivering messages that are actually relevant and genuinely helpful. We're moving from brute force to intelligent strategy. Okay, so let's get practical. We're not just going to throw a list of tactics at you. No, we're going to architect a complete engine, piece by interlocking piece. And we're going to start with the most critical part. The foundation that runs in the background, making sure you've always got a baseline of interest coming in. So phase one is all about creating what we call always-on channels. I mean, think about it. These are the systems that attract, capture, and warm up potential leads for you passively. They're working for you 24/7, so your pipeline is never starting from zero each month. This is how you escape that frantic, manual grind for good. First step for our foundation, social listening. Now, most people look at LinkedIn and they think it's a place to broadcast, to post, to pitch. But the real gold is in listening. It's about actively monitoring for keywords, pain points, or certain phrases that signal someone needs help right now. So when someone posts, "Hey, does anyone know a good tool for X?" or "Has anyone solved this problem?" That's not a cold lead. That is a hand-raised signal. Jumping into that conversation with genuine help instantly makes you an expert, not just another salesperson. All right, next up for our foundation is something I absolutely love. Building a content repurposing engine. This is how you finally get off that hamster wheel of constantly thinking, what am I going to post today? The pillar and post model. It's simple, but it's so powerful. You create one big, high-value piece of content, that's your pillar. It could be a webinar, a deep dive blog post, you name it. Then, you systematically break that pillar down into dozens of smaller posts. A single 30-minute webinar can easily become 10 short video clips, a bunch of quote graphics, a carousel, a newsletter. You get the idea. One piece of work can fuel an entire month's worth of lead gen content. And finally, for our foundation to be truly solid, we need a smart SEO strategy. Look, trying to rank for a huge term like marketing or sales automation, good luck with that. Instead, we're going to get surgical. We focus on high-intent, long-tail keywords. These are super specific phrases people search for when they're actively trying to solve a problem. Something like how to scrape event attendees on LinkedIn gets way fewer searches, sure, but the person searching it is telling you exactly what they need. Creating content for these queries turns your website into a fleet of little lead catchers that work for you while you sleep. Okay, so our foundational systems are humming along, capturing demand in the background. That's great. Now we're going to move into phase two, and this is where we get a bit more proactive. This part is all about identifying and engaging prospects who are showing buying signals right now. Here's something you've got to remember. A perfect message sent at the wrong time is still a bad message. It just is. Intent-based outreach completely flips the script on this. Instead of blasting a cold list, we look for triggers, these buying signals that tell us there's a potential need. Did someone just get promoted? Did their company just get a new round of funding? Are they hiring for a role that your product basically makes obsolete? These are the moments when your outreach suddenly becomes relevant and perfectly timed. You want one of the fastest ways to build a list of people who are actually interested in what you do? Look no further than LinkedIn events. Seriously, they're a goldmine, because everyone attending has literally raised their hand and said, I am interested in this very specific topic. The play is super simple. First, find a relevant event. Second, use a tool to ethically gather that attendee list. And third, reach out with immediate context. A message like, hey, I saw you're also attending the SaaS growth webinar is about 10 times warmer than any cold message could ever be. Now, here's another incredibly powerful strategy for engaging active prospects, leveraging private communities on platforms like Slack or Reddit or Facebook. But there's a golden rule here, and you have to follow it. You don't join these communities to pitch.
You join to help. You just answer questions, share your insights, provide value with zero expectation of anything in return. And when you do that consistently, a funny thing starts to happen. People see you as the go-to expert. They'll start tagging you in posts, sending you DMs for advice. It's a long-term play, for sure, but it generates some of the highest quality, highest trust conversations you can possibly have.
All right, so we've got our foundation catching leads, we're engaging active buyers. Now it's time for phase 3. This is where we install the force multipliers. These are the growth levers that are going to let us scale our efforts through one-to-many channels. You know, if you're out there creating awesome content, but you're not seeing any actual leads from it, you're probably just missing a system. A lead magnet funnel is that system. So in your content, you offer a high-value resource, could be a template, a playbook, a checklist. Then you drive people to a simple landing page to swap their email for that resource. And then an automated email sequence kicks in, delivering more value, building trust, and eventually giving them a chance to book a meeting. This is the engine that systematically turns a random viewer into a meeting-ready lead.
Okay, strategic partnerships. This is such a massive and often overlooked advantage, especially in niche markets. The key is to find companies who aren't your competitors, but who serve the same type of customer as you. When you partner with them to co-host a webinar or create some shared resource, you get this endorsement effect. You're basically tapping into the trust they've already built with their audience, which gives you instant credibility and access to warm, relevant prospects.
So let's talk about 2 really powerful ways you can turn your entire network into a sales force for you. First, a super simple referral program for your happy customers, where you offer them a bonus for warm introductions. But you can scale that even further with an affiliate program, where you partner with influencers or consultants and give them a commission for every customer they send your way. And the best part? Unlike ads, you only pay when you get paid. Okay, we have built the core of our engine, the foundation, the engagement strategies, and the growth levers. Now for phase 4. This is the final crucial piece of the puzzle. This is where we add the precision and the smart automation that lets the entire system run safely and at scale. So, if you're going after those big, high-ticket, enterprise-level deals, just spraying and praying is never going to work. You have to get precise, and that's exactly what account-based marketing, or ABM, is all about. You identify your Dream 100, the small list of clients that would totally change your business. And then you treat each one like its own market. You research them deeply, you map out all the key stakeholders, and you orchestrate this series of personalized touchpoints across multiple channels. It's a long game, but it's how you become impossible for your most valuable customers to ignore. Paid ads can be an incredible accelerator for everything we've talked about so far. But, and this is a big but, you have to pick the right platform for the job. LinkedIn ads, they're unbeatable for their targeting precision. If you need to reach VPs of marketing at SaaS companies with 50 to 200 employees, you can do exactly that. The trade-off is that it's more expensive. Meta, on the other hand, is incredibly cost-effective, and its algorithm is brilliant at finding your people on Facebook and Instagram. Combining targeted ads with your organic content makes sure you're showing up everywhere your ideal buyers are hanging out. And all of this, all these different strategies, brings us to the final component. You might be wondering, how do you actually do all this without working 24/7? Well, this next piece is the key. It's what powers the entire system. So, let's be really clear about what we mean by modern automation. This isn't the old school's spammy spray and pray stuff that gets your account banned. No way. The tools today are built on 3 crucial pillars. First is scale, because your campaigns can run 24/7 in the cloud. Second is safety. The system actually mimics natural human behavior with built-in delays and limits to protect your account. And third, it's human-like. It can integrate multiple channels, like sending an automated email if a LinkedIn request isn't accepted. This is the technology that makes the whole engine run efficiently. So I hope it's clear by now that these strategies we've just walked through, they aren't just a random menu of tactics you can pick and choose from. Not at all. They are interlocking gears in a single powerful sales engine, all designed to work together as one cohesive system. So let's just pull back for a second and see how this whole thing works together. Your foundation is out there capturing latent demand. Your engagement strategies are connecting you with the active buyers. Your growth levers are giving you scalable reach. And the whole thing is powered by a backbone of safe, smart automation. This is how you build a system that fills your pipeline with qualified leads safely, efficiently, and at scale into 2026 and beyond. So, to wrap this all up, I want to leave you with one final thought. I know building this entire engine from scratch can seem like a lot, but you don't have to do it all at once. The key is to just start.
So, looking at this blueprint, the question for you is, which part of your engine will you build first?